This is the directions for a very simple crocheted triangular shawl. You start out by doing a slip knot, and in that slip knot we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in that very first chain that we made, anywhere in there, it doesn't have to be exact, but in that very first chain we made, we are going to do 3 doubles all in that same chain. So that's 1 in that same spot. Notice it's spreading out a little bit for us to do our work in there, and that's okay. 2, 3, all in that same spot. So now you got to chain 4 and 3 doubles. Now you're going to chain 1. This is going to end up being our point in our shawl. Now you're going to do 4 double crochets in that same spot. And notice our chain is pulling apart, but that's okay. We just keep right on trucking. And we are going to get 4 doubles in there. And it's all pulled out, but that's okay. Oops, dropped my stitch. So now, in order to take care of that, all you have to do is pull on it, and it pulls it tight, and it's not a big deal. So our very first row has the chain 4 that we started with, 3 doubles, a chain 1, and then 4 doubles. Okay? Now our second row, oops, we're going to turn our work, and we are going to start this row with 4 chains, just like we started the beginning of it. So we start with 4 chains, and then the row before we ended with 4 double crochets. In between the first 2 double crochets, we're going to spread it apart a little bit. We're going to make a little spot, and in that spot we're going to do a group of 3 double crochets. The majority of the whole shawl is made in groups of 3 double crochets, and those groups of 3 double crochets are always done in between stitches. Then we come to our area where we had at the point where we had that chain 1. In that spot we are going to actually do 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets in that exact same spot. Now that does make the hole a little bit bigger, but this shawl has got a kind of holy look to it, so it doesn't really matter. And then we get to the end of our row, and remember our row before started with the chain 4 and then 3 doubles. In between those 3 doubles and that chain 4, in that spot right there, you are going to do 4 more double crochets. So we start every single row with the chain 4 and finish every single row with 4 double crochets. Makes it easy to remember. It's a very simple pattern to memorize. So you can see our shawl is starting to take shape of the triangle. Now this next row, the row 3, is exactly the same as every other row in the whole shawl. You start with your 4 chains, just like you did before. In between the first 2 doubles of the row before, you kind of spread them apart, and you're going to do a group of 3. 3 double crochets right in this group. The next group of 3 double crochets you will do in this big old spot right there in between those 2 groups before. So you have a group of 3 here, a group of 3 there, and in this spot right in here, right in the middle, you're going to do another group of 3 doubles. So every time you have a spot down there that has that area right there between your groups of 3, that's where you're going to do another group of 3. And then when you get to the point of every single row, at that area right there where you had done that chain 1 right there, you're in that whole spot, you are going to do 3 double crochets again. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to do 3 double crochets again. Now down this side, there's your 2 groups of 3. Right in the middle of them, you're going to do 3 double crochets. And at the end of your row, just like I said before, every single row is going to end the same way. You have these 3 double crochets right there in that chain 4. In between that little spot right there, you are going to do 4 double crochets. So you begin every row with 4 chains and you finish every row with 4 double crochets. And you can see your triangle taking shape. So you would turn it and you do your next row. You're going to start with 4 chains. And in between these first 2 doubles from the row before, you're going to add your extra 3 double crochets. That's what makes it larger on every single row, makes it a little bit longer because we're adding this extra group of 3 double crochets at the beginning and the end. So in between these groups, 3 doubles, 3 doubles. In that hole right there, you're going to do 3 doubles. And then there's another group, 3 doubles, 3 doubles. In this hole right there, you're going to do another 3 doubles. Now in case you're unclear a little bit on how to do a double crochet, you take the yarn and pull it over your needle. Then you put your needle in the hole. We pull the yarn back through the hole. So now what we have on our needle is 3 little loops. You yarn over your needle, pull it 3 2 loops, yarn over your needle and pull it 3 through 2 loops. That makes a double crochet. So we yarn over, put our needle through the little hole, bring the yarn back through. We have 3 loops on your needle, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. It's a very easy stitch once you get to know it, and it makes it go really quick. So that's our doubles. Now we get to the point again, and at this point we're going to do our 3 doubles. Yarn over, through the loop, pull it back, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. After we do our group of 3 doubles, pulled it through, we chain 1 and do another group of 3 doubles. And then back along the next side, we're going to do the same thing. In between each one of these groups and these holes, we're going to do 3 double crochets. And then of course when we get to the end, we are going to keep going. Every time we have groups of 3 in these holes, we do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then at the end, in between those 3 double crochets and that chain 4, you're going to do 4 doubles. So remember, we start with 4 chains and we end with 4 doubles. And that's exactly what's going to make it a little bit longer each time. Okay, so we got our triangle going here. It's looking really nice. And when you wear the shawl, it'll kind of go down like this. It makes a beautiful little shawl for a little doll. You can make it as big as you want, as little as you want. Use whatever size needle, whatever size yarn, doesn't really matter. Now when you decide you've gotten to the end, you make it as big as you want. When it's gotten to the point that you're finished, then the first thing you do is you're going to do you're going to do a row of single crochets along that long straight edge. And what I have found is in each one of these spots, next to this double, where those chains were all the way down, if you just do 2 single crochets in each one of those spots, it kind of makes a nice even row all the way across. It makes it nice and even, gives it a little pretty edge. Just to do a single crochet all the way down. And remember, a single crochet is you yarn over, you put your needle through, pull it back. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm doing a double crochet, I'm losing my mind. A single crochet is you put your needle under, pull it back through, so you have 2 loops on your needle, and you pull through. That's a single crochet. Go put your needle in there, pull a needle, pull the yarn back, and pull it through. So put your needle through the hole, grab your yarn, pull it back through. You have 2 loops. You yarn over your needle and pull it back through both of those. Now notice our little beginning point got a little bit of stretched out there, but that's okay. You just pull it tight again and it works out really nice. It's not a big deal. Like I said, this pattern is a very forgiving pattern. If you work really tightly or if you work really loosely, it doesn't really matter. So we do our single crochets all the way across. If you do it too tight, it'll kind of make it look like a little V there. So you want to make sure you're not doing too many across the edge. But you do your single crochets all the way across, and when you get to the end, a couple more single crochets. Whenever you've gotten to the point that you're finished with that, it makes a nice clean edge along the edge, and then you've got your rows here, or your edges here. These edges, you can just leave them exactly that way, or you can put a little border around it of some kind, whatever you like to do. Different people do different things. Sometimes I make the shawls and I don't put an edge around it at all. I just go ahead and do my row of single crochet along the edge and I'm done. So that is the very simple pattern for a triangular shawl. I hope you've enjoyed it and have fun.